Hey guys, this is Joringer here, and today I'm going to be doing a hardcore Terraria Let's Play, starting from day one. In a moment, I'm going to be creating my new player, and as you can see, I'm by no means particularly new to Terraria, but nonetheless, I'm going to create a new hardcore character. Now that I've taken a moment to create my character, we will be generating the new world in just a moment after I select a fairly decent name for my new guy. Seems simple enough. Why not? Now, usually when you generate a large world, it takes some time. So after all the loading is done, I will start back up the recording and I will see you in the game. By the way, still loading, but I just wanted to let you all know this is Terraria 1.2, the newest update that came out literally, 4 or 5 days ago. And the new world just finished generating, so we are going to jump right back in and get this party started. Mind you, this is my first ever, Let's Play doing any recording like this. So there are bound to be quite a few, beginner's mistakes, and I'm kind of just not someone to talk all too much, so a lot of the time it's just gonna probably just be a lot of silence in the midst of me doing stuff. Well, here we started, and what I like to do, especially in hardcore, is gather a bunch of mushrooms, because they are your lifelines. You might think, oh, it's only 15 HP. Well, no, that 15 HP is probably what's going to save your ass one of those days when you're getting attacked by a horde of zombies, or you misstep into corruption and you got flyers doing 20 plus damage at you. Remember, this is a hardcore world, or a hardcore character, so when I die, he's gone. There is no respawning whatsoever. Another good thing to do early on is, especially in a hardcore server, or with a hardcore player rather, is to get a good deal of wood, because in 1.2 you are actually capable of creating wooden armor, which as a full set bonus provides you with a total of 3 defense, and in some cases that might be the difference between life and death. You can probably get by, maybe getting around 150, 200 pieces of wood, pushing the bunny out of the way and killing him because he's dumb. But yeah, I'd say about 150, 200 pieces of wood is a good place to start until you start needing more. So basically right now I'm going to collect my quota of wood, and then I'm going to search around for some caves I can go exploring for some metals. And as you can see, 1.2 now has a map. This is me right here in the center. And there's different kinds of maps. You can have your little mini map, which also zooms in and out, and you can have a little overlay map that actually zooms into the full field of vision, so you can kind of mess with this in your own little ways. But I don't prefer using the overlay. I kind of just use the mini map and the main map. And as you guys can see there, I've already found a chest. And, I'm sure you guys know, always break pots. And another implementation of 1.2 is rope, which I quite like. It is some fun stuff. You can do quite a few things with it, and it just it negates the need, or so much of the need, to get an early on grapple hook. Like, see, now, like, I would have to, you know, either dig my way out and destroy the natural habitat, quote unquote. But with rope, I can just jump up, place a few pieces, lead down a little string, and to grapple onto it, you actually tap the W key when you come into contact with it, and you'll grab the rope. And then you can just jump back home here and get on with your day. Rope is probably one of the most OP things they've implemented this time around in their patch. Another good thing to get early on is a fair amount of gel, because you will be torching like crazy amounts of torches, just so, because, you know, you're a hardcore player, you probably want light all the time, everywhere, because you want to see what's gonna possibly kill you. Another useful thing is something like this, you know, if it was a much bigger gap, instead of wasting rope, what you do with your large amount of wood, you would build a few platforms like halfway across if it was small enough, and then you'd just be able to jump back over, and, you know, you don't waste precious resources since you'd likely use quite a bit. And right here we can use rope with doing the same thing. Oh, I see some pots down there. Let's go get them, shall we? And come back up, and yay, we're out of the hole. And as you can see from right there, that little ledge hop, what they did with 1.2 also, in case you didn't know, you see, like right here, this is actually a 2-block high, because they implemented half blocks, which I'll show you later on. If it's only 1 block up, you're allowed to walk up and down it, and it's quite good, and I'm pretty sure a lot of Terraria players could really appreciate the ability to do such a thing. I guess you could say I'm almost doing this as like a tutorial, because, you know, I'm obviously talking about some pretty basic stuff, but, you know, I actually see a lot of Let's Players that kind of, like, you know, sure, like, they kind of go into it new, like, at least towards the game, because I've been playing this game, you know, just about since it came out, so I kind of know a thing or two about it, and I just see them, like, things all the time, like, they'll go to chop down a tree, they'll aim a block high, and they'll leave a stump. Well, that time I didn't, but they'll leave this little bottom stump that you can see right here, and it kind of bugs me, to be honest. And oh, see, this is the new corruption zone that's implemented in 1.2. There's those face monsters, which are pretty strong. You know, you can see this 70 HP. So now that I know that there's corruption over here and a pretty nice cave to explore in the future when I'm better geared, I can move back on and start heading back over to the eastern side. But yeah, as I was saying, you know, like, there's just some petty little things I see Let's Players do that somewhat bugs me. You know, like, simple things like leaving that little stump. It's, you know, like, it's just one more piece of wood. And then you think, what's one piece of wood? Well, that's a set of 3 torches, that's 5 arrows, that's a platform to get your ass out of a hole. You know, there's things like that, and it's complicated, I guess you could say, at least in my opinion. Another thing I do, when I find chests like we did right here, I like to pick them up because that's just iron and wood I also don't have to waste, and obviously extra storage for whatever else you may encounter. this is probably also literally going to be quite a slow progression because of the essences of playing a hardcore character, as well as surviving to make it, you know, a decent enough Let's Play, because as much as I wouldn't mind it, because I love starting new characters, new everything, you know, I'm pretty sure as viewers, you guys will probably be like, well, he dies like every first and a half episode, so like, let's stop watching him, or something like stupid like that. And I'm just like, well, I want to try to make this as, you know, good for you guys as it's fun for me. And see here, we already found another cave, and I'm already starting to get quite a bit more rope. It's always good to have some torches. Now, you might notice I'm obviously not flying down at like Mach 10 because, you know, there are traps now if you guys haven't been playing Terraria since a very long time ago. And there's these little, I guess, pitfall rock traps kind of thing, or like rock drops. And you can see right here, there's like a broken rock. Like, you could think in the past, somebody's come down here and in old times a rock fell from way up here, smashed your brains in, and there goes your Let's Play. So I'm taking my time, you know, there ain't really any rush. I'm trying to make this last as long as possible because while it is my first Let's Play, I kind of want to have fun with it as well. It's also a good thing to space out your torches. Like, as you can see right around here, there's only a slight darkening, and that's usually how you would want to get it. So that way you're not wasting resources in the long run. Oh yeah, and if you put the two ropes together, it kind of makes like a little rope ladder, which I think is pretty cool. Oh yeah, another thing you want to get early on, because even I myself sometimes forget to find myself gathering this, is you'll actually want quite a bit of stone. Like, there's various reasons, because I mean, a furnace itself, that's stone and torches. So, yeah, there's that. Secondly, you might want stone walls for your house instead of wood walls. Or you might be the ranger type and you might want quite a quiver full of arrows. So, it's always good to get a large amount of stone, like more than you'd ever need, because you never know when you need stone for something. Just like now, as you guys can hear, it's now nighttime. So I'm gonna barricade myself in for a moment and protect myself while I start building my supplies to combat the night aggressors. First thing right off the bat I'm going to do is I'm going to make myself some of that wooden armor I mentioned. As you can see, 1 HP, or 1 defense, and no defense. But as you know, most armors have a set bonus. And that set bonus is gaining 1 defense, which covers basically the wood greaves. Another thing, you might kind of think, oh, why are you making a wood sword? Well, because a wooden broadsword is much better. It's dealing 2 more damage, and it's gonna save you way better than a little stabbing thing. It's just like, you know? Grenades are fun too. They come in handy, especially in a situation like this. It's always a good thing to have a hammer. hammers now don't break life crystals. You can use your pickaxe for that, but what you can use a hammer for is, I'll show you right now. You can alter blocks. You know, see? Oh, it's a little half block. Oh, a little half block. You see? You can make like little windows, and you still can't go through it. That's just something they did this last patch too. They altered what the hammer does, so you can actually make some pretty smooth like buildings, and it'll just all flow together really well. I have only a few arrows, but I don't exactly want to make any more at the moment. So I'm just going to stick to my throwing knives, since they do the most damage, as well as they're pretty nice. And I'd rather save shurikens for the first boss, Eye of Cthulhu. Well, now that I've got me some armor and some better weaponry, it's time to move on. Fire in the hole! Oh, I like doing that. Yeah, another reason I don't really talk too much is because at the moment I'm using push-to-talk methods to record my voice. So it's a little bit strenuous on my finger to hold the push-to-talk button, since I don't have a more than 3-button mouse or anything of the like. So I'm kind of forced to hold the button down the entire time while talking to you guys, explaining what I'm doing. And the reason for the push-to-talk method is because sometimes there's people in my house quite noisy, and it's inconvenient both for myself and potential viewers. And sometimes the sounds aren't exactly all too welcoming, so I'll just leave it at that. Ah, they're moving faster! But they don't move faster than a knife. Ooh, a quick aglet, hell yeah. Yeah, once you get good with throwing knives and shurikens, you'll always want to use them at your earliest convenience, because they really cut down on the arrows you waste, and among other things, and you're kind of safer, because as you can see, I'm just chilling back here and minding my own business and getting on with my life, and I get more shurikens in the long run to go after I'm done with my throwing knives, or if I just would rather use shurikens. I'm sure I passed up more than that copper, but I'm not too worried about it at the moment. I'm still trying to just get things flowing for you guys. like a ninja. There's actually quite a lot of zombies spawning, and it's kind of annoying, wouldn't you think? Especially when you're in hardcore mode, trying to just survive, and you got these speedy ass fucking all these zombies flying at you. Well, when you need to get out of dodge, you can use 10 rope to make a rope coil. And these things are probably more OP than the ropes themselves, because you can just toss them up there and make a rope line to get your ass out of there. Hindsight 2020, I probably should have tossed one up here. But in this situation, to save on rope, since I've used quite a bit already, I'll instead want to start utilizing some platforms. There's a good amount of them for a fire in the hole. Well then, shall we just dangle here like fresh meat hanging in a butchery? Or shall we line up some kills? There's even more coming. I think I'll wait for 5. Can't get me zombies. See, while this might not be too interesting, you kind of have to play like this, especially if you want to explore this cave in the long run. Like, why are you going to come back later if you got all this free inventory space, a lot of health, and multitudes of weaponry to get through it all? And it's now daytime, so they will stop spawning so annoyingly. Especially since this is a hardcore Let's Play, I really feel I shouldn't cut out content, even if it's just walking 2 feet, because, you never know what could happen in a matter of seconds. And in a hardcore mode, I could stop the recording. Next 1 second I'm alive and well. 2 seconds later I start the recording and I just come back. I'm like, hey guys, I died, and that would be kind of stupid to not really see how it happened. So if you'd actually like me to cut or reduce the length of the videos, by all means, please let me know so I can alter that in the future. Oh, those slimes wanted to go for a fun ride. And you see, though, that little iron right there? The rope comes in so handy for that. Just so freaking handy. And it's so recyclable, too. Because see, all 10 rope you use to make that rope coil comes right back to you. I'm kind of deciding what I want to do. If I want to just leave it right here and then head back up to try to make me a little outpost to work with, or if I should dangle downward and attempt to explore more. Oh wow, all these slimes really want me. I think I count about 4 or 5 slimes at the least. So let's see how to do this. It'd be pretty dangerous to try to use a grenade right now since they're so close and they bounce around a lot. So what I think I'm gonna do is make a couple rope coils and trick them. And that was such a fail. Also failed. But it revealed some goodies underneath that. Oh, and here we have platinum, one of the newer introduced ores to Terraria. Alongside platinum, as far as I've found, there is also tin and lead. I'm not quite sure their exact comparisons to iron and the other but I know from personal experience that lead is just about on par with silver. Platinum might even be on par with gold, so who knows, a platinum pickaxe might just be able to get you that demonite. Let's start getting back some of this rope. Well, now that I actually found myself a little bit more iron, I think I'm probably going to call it right about here. I will see you guys in the next episode, so ta-ta for now, fellas.